Yeah, we're back. All right, so what seems to be getting these shills upset is discussing what hides them. So let's talk about it. The first thing you're going to notice, and this is where Superman gets his power, they call it a photonic induction. So let's talk about it. The first thing you're going to see is what appears to be what we've always believed is a fireball sitting in a void of space that is burning with no oxygen, which makes no sense. Should draw suspicion to the fact that there is some inconsistencies with the story of that idea there. But it's not meant to be true anyways. So let's talk about what it is that we can see so far is actually happening. Well, when you start staring into the sun, what happens first is there is an induction that creates the acknowledgement of what's on the sun. What is on the sun doesn't show up on the sun first. It shows up in what is created as an astral awareness. This astral awareness will then open up the void or this view space that sits in between dimensions. And in this space, you will notice that there's a face showing up. This face will just show up on anything. It will just be floating just over just about anything. And you'll just see it anywhere. And you'll say, what is that face, right? So eventually, in that black space, onto the space that becomes your reality, you will see in full endowment of the living entity that is being hidden from you. That's the first thing you're going to notice. This same thing happens across the board. When you start looking at the trees, they seem like normal trees, just like the sun is a normal sun that is not doing much of anything. Then you're going to notice that these trees have a likeness of a face that shows up in the dark astral view space before it becomes layered on in reality. When it becomes reality, it's going to show up like this. Then you're going to have people telling you that you've got a disease in your brain because you can see this. But they're going to be what is called the freeze frame. Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense that they are consciously moving around unless, of course, this is like a movie in itself. Like every move that you're making is like a flip frame of a movie. So as this movie is becoming more clear, these entities are dancing around between electrical signatures over various contours that make up multiples and multiples of endless configurations that can be a face. And it takes full advantage of all the contours. It literally will dance around when you break past this freeze frame. When you break past the freeze frame on the sun's face becomes moving and moves around just like a living entity as well. So what I've been gathering here is that this is just like a freeze frame flip movie that flips and then it becomes like fast and you see everything as it is. Only from a photonic relationship between all the contours, it is going to dance around and move around like it's alive, but it's just electrical, like an electrical, like a light simulation, if you will, like a light that is projecting from a projector, kind of like a movie, onto a flat plane, like a screen. Whoa. Okay, so this is where Superman gets all his power from. So he stares into it, he charges up, and that's what we're going to do to induce more photonics. So let's go ahead and talk about how these entities hide. All right, so you see a guy walking down the street. He seems like a regular, normal guy. All right, this dude is just walking around, minding his own business. Typically, if it is a front, what you're going to notice is that they look like a dime a dozen cliched type entities walking around with the same thing on that you see everywhere, and it seems like a fashion trend. But then, if you're using this to endow yourself with more awareness, then you're going to start to question things that you've never seen. You're just going to start saying, "Hey, what is up with this? Why has everybody got a blue cotton shirt with brown khakis using their cell phone with their heads down?" It's just weird. It's like everybody's doing that. It's like, who are these people? So that is just a really strange thing. And it seems coincidental at first. But eventually, phototonically, and what is then going to become tangible in Israel, just like this sun here, and just like these trees that are alive, you're going to start noticing that these entities have a cover. And you're going to start to see in a dark astral space, what is to become reality next? Just like I said, this about the sun and about the trees. So this entity has revealed to me that there are giant entities like demons. This one was a rat fink, like a nasty, revolting. Literally, I mean, I seen piss stains, like they shit on themselves or something, man. They're just disgusting. And they wear bright colors because within the photonic injection, everything is more greener and more vibrant, and they are products of their environment. So they like to wear bright colors. You'll also see the same thing on MGMT kids. All right, so in my astral space during a dream, which is not a dream, it is layers of reality, if you will. Reality is like a place that you can magically create almost any kind of reality, it seems. All right, so these finks, once they become tangible in my physical reality, I will be able to touch them. Like I can touch this paper or anything else because this is a simulation of light. This seems real, but this is not. None of this shit is real. It's a simulation of light. Oh my goodness. So these entities are hiding behind a dimmered, more mediocre, watered down version of your perception of your true reality. So when you receive full photonic induction, you will realize that you yourself can fly, you have superhuman abilities, and this is all done by a means of a light induction, which everything would become a material of light, sound, things coming out of your ears, everything is nothing more than a light simulation made into material. So these things here, they're hiding behind a mediocre cloak that makes them invisible. You will literally walk through these entities. You won't be able to tangibly, physically touch these entities whatsoever. But however, if you continue down this path, these entities are going to go from that void space into an overlay that appears to be transparent over your physical reality. Wow, that sounds familiar in many other ways that other than just a few. Let me continue before this video stops from no storage space, whatever. So these entities here will also show up in your void space after you see the freeze frame, because they're going to be talking in your void space, and then they're going to show up on the tree fully animated. This whole thing is going to be like a moving animated reel. The light is like the projector light, and this place is like a stage. And now I see why they say that. And we would be an representation of a projection being projected onto a screen plane that sits upright in 3 dimensions, that is physically alive with flesh. That's pretty elaborate. Damn, Maker is like incredible. Like, what the fuck? This shit is like beyond understanding of any, like, how do you begin? Like, shit. This shit is fucking incredible. All right, so this is what these people are getting mad about. And they wanted me to be against these people because they didn't want me to go further, because these entities are being exposed. They want me to look at, first of all, the media, first of all, is lies. You'll see, even in the fact that Mickey was on a rocket going up and Daffy had a sparkler in his hand, would still be a lie and a deception that you are not supposed to believe it means anything. They put it right in your face. It doesn't mean shit. That's still a lie. Pretty interesting. It would be the most obvious lie to put something that they already demonized, which is the idea of what we believe evil is, to put it in the place of the Tefiti version in the center of the earth, to demonize the center of the earth and our mission entirely. We would probably also see Sheol lines going up into the center of the earth where they would not be able to appetize on anything. Gosh, it could be plausible that those holes are completely useless or probably don't exist. All right, so these things will pop up in your astral space. Cool World entities pop up in my astral space talking to me. Mickey Mouse pops up in my astral space talking to me, waiting to come into the 3rd dimension, or my 3rd and a half dimensional perception between the 3rd and the 4th dimension, if that makes sense. But yeah, that is in a nutshell what we are doing. We are inducing a photonic acknowledgement, which is just like viewing anything. just the same as you acknowledge into your mind to say something is really happening or not. And within that acknowledgement, the full endowment of superhuman abilities are given and released by acknowledgement. And that is how seeing is believing. So once you realize that you're Bruce Willis in glass, you will be able to break through steel walls immediately. But what a fool sees, they believe, and no wise man has the power to reason away. Michael McDonald. Tom McDonald, that guy. Oh my goodness, that guy. Michael McDonald. Okay. That is what a fool believes. So what you believe, you see, and nobody has the power to reason away because it is a tangible reality created. Even NASA creating false deception in your mind has to be some kind of tangible truth in some kind of reality that holds some kind of form, even in its elusiveness. Somehow, it's somehow kind of real, even though it's not. It's weird. It's like if you go into the behind the scenes, you see them faking it. But in your mind, what has become real, it seems to be paramount. What you believe seems to be the whole of what is shaping the truth of our reality, even if it's not true. Very interesting. Which doesn't really make it true because space is faked. But in your mind, if you believe it's true, it kind of seems to create a reality within your embodiment of yourself, which is totally fucked up. Very interesting. The implications of this snowball into multiple aspects. This is going to have me thinking all night. Shit. Well, anyways, if you keep sun gazing, you're going to have full photonic induction of all abilities from perception, sight, endowment of material abilities, which are just electrical inductions. Jumping is electrical induction. Brain process thinking is electrical synapses. Everything is electrical induced. The sight, the sound, the voice, everything is nothing but electrics. Very interesting. If you want to see weird science, you will see the creator touch things and make things become reality by passing over electrical inductions or convections. Very interesting. This concludes my video. I will probably make a part 2, 3, or 4 as I understand it more as we go as a boat from the shore. As always, onward through the fog we go, because when we get awake, we stay awake.